I get so many questions every day about what my life is like actually living on a cruise ship. What are the hours like? What's the schedule? What's the living situation? What's the food like? What's the pay? And today, I'm gonna be answering all of those questions for you. So let's get into the intro and get into the tea. So I'm making this video to answer all the questions that I've been getting not only in the YouTube comments, but in my DMs, TikTok, and Instagram. You guys will find a girl and you will ask her those questions. Just want to start by saying that I'll be sharing my personal experience and I'm not speaking for Carnival whatsoever. So first things first, I've seen some guesses under my comment section about what I do. In my first video, my first week on board, when I moved onto the Carnival Vista, I was wearing a red polo. Now, for the Carnival avid cruisers, they know that if you're wearing the red polo and your entertainment, you're a fun squad. I am not fun squad. I work on board as a content specialist, and my job is basically to manage and audit all of the digital and printed signage on board. And it's a lot of responsibility. Like, you gotta make sure that the brand is being upheld to the standards. Of course, it's a lot of pressure because you're taking care of the whole ship, but it's such an amazing responsibility. This role, it is a behind the scenes role, so you'll never really see a content specialist out and about, and maybe you will, but you won't even realize that that is a content specialist. So it's kind of cool to be behind the scenes, seeing in real time, people noticing your work, noticing the details that make Carnival Carnival. It's one of those behind the scenes roles where it affects guests immediately. Like, if information is wrong and it gets to the guest, when you think about it, per cruise, we host like thousands of guests. If I make one mistake on one, guest facing piece of content, that's gonna affect 4,000 plus guests. It's a lot of responsibility. So you gotta make sure that tea is correct, and when tea is tea, tea is tea, okay? Tea can't be coffee. It can't be coffee. The tea has to be tea, or else it's not gonna make sense. You know what I mean? Even though I do come from a communications background, a marketing background, this job has really allowed me to sharpen those senses that I already kind of had in my toolbox from my background, and I've been able to fine tune it while working in this position. Now that I've explained a little bit about my position, let's go into what my day usually looks like. So this job does require me to wake up early, and at home, I'm an early bird. I get up at home at 5 a.m. I go to the gym, I do my run maybe, and then I'm working by like 7 a.m., 7:30. I'm on it when I'm home. When I'm on the cruise ship, girl, I'll start off my contract usually getting up at like 6:45, 7, get to my desk by like 7:30, finish all my morning tasks by like 9 a.m. Like, I'm on it, girl. I be on it. And then like a month happens, and then your girl gets a little tired. So when that month comes in, that's usually what stays consistent for the rest of my contract, give or take. So let's do that roundabout. So realistically, I like to be at my desk by no later than like 8 a.m., let's say, and I'll do my morning tasks for at least an hour, 2 hours, and then I'll do my morning rounds. So, which is the auditing part of my job. I have to walk the whole ship, making sure that everything is up to the brand standards like we mentioned before. And then of course, within that time, I make sure to get breakfast and I make sure to get my coffee. So after I do my audit, I kind of go back and I finish the rest of my morning tasks. So I'm usually then at my computer for like another hour or two. And then after that, that's when I take my lunch break, so to speak. So I guess we can say around 11. So this break is usually my longer break because I like to go to lunch, I like to talk with friends, I like to have my social hour, I like to go to the gym. Like, the midday for me is like my time. And this is like on a day where things are normal, right? Like a day-to-day operations. I'll do the gym, I'll do my social hour and everything. I'll talk to my boss, I'll talk to my peers, da-da-da-da-da. And then I'll get back to work, after I shower and refresh myself. I'll get back to work and I'll do my evening task. And so I usually end my day at around 6. But all in all, some days are harder than others, of course, but flexibility is key if you ever want to work on cruise ships. So next thing I want to talk about is living situation. As you can see, I'm currently in my cabin, and believe it or not, this is one of the bigger ones. Probably just saw my most recent video that I posted, which is my crew cabin tour. So right now I am on the Carnival Panorama, and that video that I posted of my crew cabin is from the Carnival Vista. This was my first contract. I was on the Carnival Vista, and of course I'm in one of the smaller cabins. Now, did I have a roommate? Yes. Were we cool? Yes. That contract was 6.5 months, long contract. Yeah, they were all pretty cool. Like, it was really good vibes, and usually our schedules never really matched up like that. So I'd be in the cabin, they would be at work, they would be in the cabin, I would be at work. So it was a nice balance. Like, when you did see them, it was good vibes. Privacy does get a little hard sometimes, of course, because when you're not in the cabin by yourself, and let's say you're just in your bunk, the only privacy shield you have is your curtains. Now, of course, it's not luxurious, but it's manageable, and it gets the job done as long as you adapt and as long as you set boundaries. Next topic that is very popular that I want to talk about is pay. So like I said, within the boundaries, I'm not going to be talking exact numbers, but what I will talk about is my reality. The paid and unpaid perks and things of that nature. The thing is, what people have to take into consideration, there are a lot of perks with working and living on a cruise ship. First things first is that you don't have to pay rent. So whatever deductible that you have in mind that you'd have to pay for rent, unconsidered. They don't take it out your paycheck, they don't take it out anything. Room and board is free, and you live where you work, so it only makes sense that it's free in my mind. And of course, laundry is another perk. It is free. They provide the detergent, they provide the softener, they also give you bars of soap, maybe for your hands or maybe for your body. So like, those are also things that you don't have to worry about. It's free. Me, I'm a little extra. Do I buy my own detergent? Yes. Do I buy my own softener? Yes, but that's just me, and that's a personal preference, and to each their own. But my whole first contract on the Carnival Vista, I never bought detergent, I never bought softener. This contract, it's my second contract. It's just like an extra luxury for me. That's all that it is. Food. Also don't have to pay for food. Like, of course, if I wanna go to the restaurants, for example, on this ship we have Bonsai, amazing. Cucina, amazing. Gigi's, like, we have some really good restaurants here, and so those, of course, we have to pay because it's extra. It's a dining experience, you know what I mean? But usually if you want to go to the mess or if you want to go to Toledo, depending on your ship's crew, you can. So it just depends on how much you want to spend on food and where you want to eat. For me, I'm an eat out girly. I love Bonsai sushi. I love Cucina. So will you catch me at those places spending my own money? Yes. Point is that you get a lot of perks where you're really put in a situation living and working on a cruise ship where you can save a lot of money. But that also means that you can spend a lot of money. On the Carnival Vista, I was going to places like Aruba, Curacao, Bon Air, Puerto Rico, Amber Cove, Dominican Republic. Like, we had the itinerary. For me, especially as my first contract, this was the dream itinerary. Like, this is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to travel. Like, it was amazing. So it's easy to save if your itinerary is somewhere that you go a lot, for example, but this was a new place every week when I was on Vista. So you had many opportunities to spend, girl. And me, I was spending. Excursions, experiences, taxis, food. Like, I was outside. And I loved it. So do I regret it? No. Would I do it again? Yes. When I first started on ships, I was so broke. I didn't spend money like my whole first 2 weeks. Like, setting up everything, like, nope. I ain't spend no money. Other than like Wi-Fi. Like, I had to buy Wi-Fi, of course. But yeah. I ain't spend out a dime, and it showed me that I am capable of being in this position, in this job, and not ever having to spend a dime. Like, you can save. So it just depends, like, when you work on cruise ships, what's your priority? Are you doing this to save and get yourself out of a financial burden, or is it to experience the world and spend money? Like, it just depends, like, what you want out of this line of work and what you want out of your income. Question that I get a lot is how I got into this job. How did I get into this job, and how did I find the job? Of course, at first, again, I searched up the position. Content manager position, cruise ships. Carnival came up and I went directly to their Carnival Cruise Line Entertainment website, and I saw all of their all of their options for entertainment positions. Now, a lot of people ask me about agencies. I don't know honestly what it's like to apply for a cruise ship job through agencies. I do have friends on board that have done that, but I cannot talk on the process because I do not know the process. Every time I apply to a job, I always go directly to the verified website. Quick Google search, go to the verified website, apply directly through the company. I go directly to the company website every single time, no matter the company. Okay guys, that's all for this one. If you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.